Okay, so a lot of people come to me saying, we love each other, nothing is wrong, but we aren't having sex, so please help us get the spark back. So today I'll be reviewing 4 things that you can do to help you get the spark back in your relationship. Because reality is there's a lot of people that suffer through this and they think that sex is actually the problem. But the truth is, it's what's happening before sex that's the true problem. Hi, I'm Taryn. I'm a couples therapist who's helped couples move from stuck patterns of lack of connection, lack of intimacy, to having a beautiful, intimate relationship again. The truth is that long-term relationships desire just look a little different. And that's why I'm going to talk to you about the 4 things you can do to bring that spark back, to understand more deeply about what's happening and how to sustain that desire, because it's totally possible. So if the desire changes long term, the real question becomes, how do you actually create it again? The first thing is that desire actually needs differences, because desire grows when you see your partner as separate, as interesting, not fully known. And it thrives on that novelty, that space, seeing your partner in a new light and learning something new about them. Obviously, this is happening in the beginning of your relationship, but now that you're in a long-term relationship, how do you create that separation? How do you find that novelty again? This doesn't mean you have to completely change everything and move out or do something drastic. It just needs that you need to add a little bit of mystery, a little bit of individuality by creating a little bit of intentional space, by doing something alone, having separate time. Another way you can create that is by having different conversations, like asking your partner questions that you haven't asked before. Maybe something like, what's been on your mind lately that you haven't said out loud? Ask ChatGPT to give you a list of questions that you can ask your partner that allows you to get to know your partner in a different way. Do something that changes the routine, because we get stuck in routines and it's so awesome to do something completely different. Those things take a little bit of effort, and obviously in the beginning it's effortless, but in a long-term relationships, you do have to put in the effort to create that mystery, to have individuality, especially if you're in a codependent dynamic. I know a lot about codependency because I fall into that as a South Asian woman coming from a collective culture. Also, by having a really great relationship where you're best friends with somebody, it's a great thing that you have this issue, that you do so much together. But it is so important to create that space, that intentional space. The second thing that you can do to create more intimacy and more spark in your relationship is schedule no pressure intimacy time with your partner that doesn't lead to sex. Men have sex to feel connection, but women actually need true connection to have sex. And so what I mean by connection is having the type of connection that has no expectations or agendas, and is just about being in each other's company, getting to know each other. Most women that come to me wanting the spark back also admit that they want to have more connection with their partner. And these women also share when their partner starts to cuddle with them and kiss them, they have this response of freezing, disconnecting, disassociating, thinking about different things, because they know what's coming next. And that is quick, sexy time that their body is not prepared to. Now let's go to the third thing that you can do to create spark back. And that is, stop waiting to feel desire first. In long-term relationships, desire often goes from spontaneous to responsive, at least for one of the partners, if not for both. And what that's saying is that something in your body starts to feel good after you've engaged in something pleasurable, not before. So if you're sitting there waiting to want to have sex, you're going to keep thinking that you have low libido. A lot of women come to me saying, I just don't want to have sex anymore. Maybe something's wrong with me. And then they'll also say, but once we start, it actually feels good. And that's when I know is their body is actually capable of desire. So that just means to me that you've been waiting for it to show up like you used to. And the reality is that you've leaned into responsive desire, and responsive desire is really about creating the conditions and engaging in something pleasurable in order to then move your body out of this stuck, I don't want to do anything, to, wow, this is actually kind of feeling good. So remind yourself that, you know what, for me to change my relationship to desire, I have to also engage and find out what's pleasurable. Okay, so let's go into number 4. And that is, even if you fix all of those things, if your turnoffs are still there, nothing really changes. What I mean by that is get to know your turnoffs, because you can do all the right things to create desire, but your turnoffs are still, if they're still present, they will always override it. So for example, of what can be a turnoff is feeling pressure, feeling emotionally distant with your partner, overthinking or stress from work, or your body image that's coming up. Of course, some of these things are not overnight fixes, but it's important to acknowledge those things that are coming up. And from that place, you're able to do something about it. Whether it's changing the thing that's happening, maybe a turnoff is the fact that there's dishes that need to get done and it's in the back of your mind and it's not helping you be present, then you can go do those dishes first, or get your partner to do those dishes first. If there's something you can do about your turnoffs, you do them. But if you can't change your turnoffs, you can change your relationship with it. So if body image is something that's coming up, bring that to the space with your partner. Don't try to manage all these things alone. If you're feeling disconnected with your partner, tell them. If you're thinking about stress from work, tell them so that they know what's happening for you. And a lot of the times we're managing these turnoffs by themselves because we don't want to ruin it. We don't want to turn our partner off. But when we speak to them, when we bring it in to the space, it usually helps us move through them. And so it's so important to acknowledge those turnoffs, because they're going to always win over the turn-ons. If you're somebody who's experiencing these issues because you've been together for a long time, you haven't learned about desire, the truth is that it can be something you can work on with your partner. And when you work on these things with your partner gets to know you more, you get to know your partner more, and you evolve into intimacy in a more mature, in a way that works for you in this moment of your life. And what ends up meeting you on the other side is more pleasure than you even thought was possible. If this resonated with you, stay tuned for the next video. I'll be sharing more on this topic, and you're free to ask me any questions that you want in the comments below. Can't wait to see you again. Bye. Take care.